zooms in. So it's like
I know.
it's like when I kiss you, you know, like I push the button and all of a sudden it's like, whoa, she's right there. You guys that
Yeah.
have never done a Facebook Live, you don't understand.
Nah.
All right, I was
Okay, so welcome you
never
guys
loved a
to another exciting Feel
lady.
It Real Fun for you
Mm.
on the 30th of March 2022.
What's tomorrow?
You're starting to feel real old.
No, I'm starting to feel almost 56.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. And today's show is what am I putting? What Neville Goddard, How to Manifest Money, Part 1. Are my bills blocking my blessing?
Yeah, that's pretty much
And this
it.
is Ryan's money
Yeah,
state.
this is from Ryan.
Cool.
He's Ryan. He's Ryan. Let's share it
So,
there too.
go to
Why
freeneville.com.
not? 221 email list. Yo, Frank.
Hello,
Pseudo.
Frank. Hello, Faith.
Hey, make sure
It's
you
the
watch the garden video
FFs.
from the other day, Frank. Right? You have to watch the garden video from a few days ago.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, we gave you a shout
We
out there.
mentioned you in it.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you've seen it yet or not.
Because
Seen
there
it.
was a kid in there,
Yeah,
Carstens.
the young man.
The young man, sorry. Young man, old boy. We're
That's
not
right.
quite sure he's at that age.
Yeah, he's at that
He
age.
just turned 16.
That's right.
Okay, so go to freeneville.com.
No, we don't do the 220
No.
email list. Anyway, there'll be something new up there, but go to easymanifestingmethods.com. Sign up for the
subscribe.
subscribe list there.
Yeah.
So easymanifestingmethods.com.
That's right. Garden video a couple of days ago. Got it.
Yeah,
Cool.
See now, see the key to getting into Frank's subconscious mind to influence him is to talk like you're calling from a tower.
Oh, just traffic control.
Yeah,
Traffic control.
Yeah, exactly. So we just have to like say, yeah, I can't do it. But
Yeah.
anyway, all right.
Join
Yeah,
our 90-day adventure at manifestingmasterycourse.com.
You got the loogie. Thank Christ, words don't have power.
And for refunds, visit our YouTube channel, feelitrealfun.com.
Alrighty, everyone. So guess what we're going to do today, guys?
What?
We're going to do Ryan's money thing you do. Right, and this is going to be a really good. She looks like that.
Money thing you do.
Didn't I just say something like that? Yeah, what's that over? Right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's because we watched last night. The Thing.
Did we? Oh yeah, the Volkswagen thing. That was
yeah.
great. Jody, hey, where you been? Give us an update. Now, seriously, nice to see you. It's been a while. So, people ask exactly what I should imagine. How do I pick the scene? And this is going to answer that question in a really cool way. Dave is here, Diamond Dave.
Oh, hello, Diamond Dave.
So, we really want to nail this. And I want you to notice how I arrive at my conclusion. You ever notice there's not a word proclusion? Like there's not... Or like
There's
conclusion.
conclusion. There's not a pre or a pro.
preclusion, proclusion. Anyway.
Inclusion.
Inclusion. All right.
Exclusion.
Look at all these triple D. Tell us where you know us from. Type in triple D, MM, whatever. Okay, Victoria.
Yes.
Let's read Ryan's letter.
Okay, so Ryan's letter said, "Hey, 20.
Yo, Ryan.
I hope you are well, mate. I have a question for you today.
Totally. Ask away, Ryan.
Typically, my imaginal sessions are really great, and I can really feel it real while I'm in them.
Great place to begin, by the way.
I'm confused with the state of mind I should have when I receive a bill and hardly have the funds to pay it or anything along those lines. How should I be embracing those situations in order to stay in the feeling of the wish fulfilled? It feels like in those moments that the feeling of wealth and prosperity is very distant. I've been struggling with this for some time now and would love your input. Oh, I also just purchased the Prosperity Pack and I'm eager to get into it. All the best.
No,
Love,
this is
Ryan.
where this is where we show off. Look at that. That's what it looks like with a coffee stain. If you if you take it to if you take the PDF or send it to your local office store, they can print it out for you. It's really cool.
It
Then you
won't
can
have
put
the
your coffee
stain on it.
Well,
You have to have your own. Make your
if
own.
you print it out, send me a photo, and I'll tell you how to get the coffee stain on there. Right, that's a top secret thing.
Yeah. Okay.
So first
it
rhyme.
sounds like a great I remember when to me, but anyway.
Totally. Now, here's what's really cool. We're going to hit the tools in the toolbox in some real specific ways, give you some things that might give you something to think about differently. But Dave says he printed his power pack too. Yeah, baby.
Good one, Dave.
Right? Let's wipe out a rainforest, shall we? I've got a secret agenda, right? My thing is like, I want to get all those environmentalisms and just like upset them. Like I upset the veganisms. Right, so it's like if I can get everyone watching this ever to print out their prosperity pack on thick, yummy paper, imagine how many trees I can be responsible for vanishing.
No, don't be like that. Not when I'm building a paradise garden. Anyway, yes.
Anyway, no, we vanished a bunch of trees.
But we've planted a hell of a lot
I'm
more.
not saying not to plant trees, right?
Right.
So sometimes the money comes in, sometimes the money goes out. Now, Victoria, we've got some Neville Goddard quotes. Let's start with one, please.
That'd be great if we did.
That way you can participate in today's show.
Where do you think those quotes might be?
Oh, that's unbelievable.
Do you reckon they might be in that?
Well, they could be, but I put them in there for easiness to find.
Okay.
Unbelievable. All right. Well, we're going to have to make it up as we go along. This is going to be good fun. Ready? Hashtag
Good
make it
fun.
up. Yeah, no. I'll click back on that one again.
I just thought, is the wireless on?
Oh, the wireless is on. Whoa,
Well, there we go.
All right, look at that.
Victoria
It's a
did
miracle of miracles.
Miracle of miracles.
All right. So, because I really wanted you to read this one, because I know how you like this one.
I do love this one. Yeah. So Neville's first quote is, let me tell you of two ladies who came to my meetings, one here on the West Coast and the other in New York City. Both ladies were financially embarrassed.
I absolutely love that, because like we've progressed. If you think about this, like this would have been like the 60s. So we've progressed from like in the 60s to like 60 years later. Now people are angry about not having money. So before it was, I'm just embarrassed.
Yeah.
Now it's like, I just want to kill the man, right? Like 10% of the people have 90% of the wealth. 90% of the wealth belongs to 10% of the people. And well, it should be pretty fucking easy to shoot them then. Right? But anyway, let's continue,
Okay.
Victoria. They were financially embarrassed.
They had no money and no one to turn to. All I asked them to do was assume the feeling of financial security.
So somebody needs to look up the lullaby method, because in the lullaby method, everyone skips the first step and thinks it's about affirmations. Neville says, let's begin with assuming the feeling. Right? Assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Right? Notice what he's telling them to do here. Assume the feeling of financial security. Just explore that, like in a vague, cloudy kind of way, because the clouds are where the rain comes from. Continue, Victoria.
You said that on yesterday's show.
I sneak all sorts of stuff in.
Or
I
on the
am
call
like,
or something.
yeah, I know. I probably said it to you once or twice in the car too.
Probably.
Like she drives the car. She takes her F out of the middle. I just toss shit out. You know, it's just so much fun.
One lady immediately began to search for the feeling of security. Every day she imagined having all the money she needed to take care of her desires.
All right, so here's a common one. Ready? So we get the electrics bill. And the electrics bill now is like double what it used to be because of the portable disposable hot tub kind of thing. You know what I mean? And it's like, here's the old me from many, many, many moons ago. Many moons ago, I would go, fudge, man. Like, I've got to pay this bill, which means I can't get what I want. Right?
Yeah, I had to stop washing. You know, I'd only wash a lot of clothes. I'd make you wear them 4 times. And remember?
Yeah, it's horrible, right? Now, here's the fun thing, guys.
Yeah.
Whenever you start realizing, how do you set up war in your life? Because people do this in all sorts of creative ways and they don't realize it. Because if it's, right, I mean, there's this bill I have to pay, and then there's something else I have to give up, and then I really can't take the kids to Disney because we got to pay. It gets weird, right? So just first of all, notice, do you have any of that going on? It's like, this is what I have to pay. Notice Neville didn't tell these ladies that they imagine up enough money to cover their needs. Right? Because people say, like poor people, they always go, how much money do you need? Right? Like Bill Gates, he's making more money. Bezos, he's making more money. Bill Clinton making all kinds of money, right? But it's like, how much money do you need? No, see, there's a difference between like, well, how much money do I need to make it through the month? right? This is where people count money, and I imagine counting money and having money and all that crap. It just goes nuts. Versus like, what if you had enough to fulfill your desires? Notice that takes the attention off the money. It brings it back to the desires. If you had financial security, I mean, you imagine what it would feel like if you had all the money you need for your desires. You notice I did a podcast on this, no big deal.
Yep.
Right? Next quote, Victoria.
Okay. Just in case there's people that haven't heard that, both ladies got all the money that they
Oh,
needed.
yeah, one of them got it from a
desires.
shaggin' buddy.
She did.
But that's another story.
Okay, the next quote. Are you thinking from the state you desire, or is your dream just a passing fancy? A daydream you enjoyed for the moment and then dropped? You can tell if you abide in your house of desire by watching your thoughts, for the state in which you most constantly return constitutes your dwelling place.
Alrighty, so I don't know about you guys, but we live in the Mud Brick Mansion. It's really cool. We did the video like over the weekend, and it was amazing and cool how much it changed in the 2 years during lockdown when no one's getting anything done because the world came to an end, right? You look at our place and it's like, wow, it's like transformed. Like every time there's a break in the lockdown or whatever, we had people coming over and doing shit. Right? Because it's like, and they loved it. It's like, yeah, I don't got anything going on. So they'd come over. Everyone else is panicking and the world's crashing. And we're having all sorts of breakthroughs in many ways, right? But we live here. We don't hide here. And here's the difference, right? So Neville says the state that you most commonly return to is your dwelling place. In other words, we come and we go, right? How hard is it for you to get in your house? There's the thing, because whenever you just notice, right, well, my job isn't to stay here. My job is to go back home, right? If at the end of the workday you didn't know where you were going, it would be a weird experience, wouldn't it? But it's like we went to the dog park today. Victoria went shopping. We both came home. We walked in through the door. And there's a big key right there. So if you're fighting to stay in your state, that's like trying to get back into your house or fighting to stay in there against intruders. It just has you at war with the bills. And on the other hand, if you just go, righty-o, when you notice you're out of your house, right, you step back inside. Right? If you notice you're out in the storm, you step back inside. And here's the key how to do that. You go through the door. Victoria, tell us that last quote.
Okay.
Because that's the door.
Right. Neville says in another quote.
By the way, we're going to interrupt you. Matthew says about changing a state. Can you tell by the smile on your profile pic? Your profile pic right now for us is like that big, but I can see your smile. So just mentioning it to you, right? Nice job. So way to go, Matthew. Continue, Victoria. Cool.
Prayer is to be contrasted with an act of will. Prayer is a surrender. It means abandoning oneself to the feeling of the wish fulfilled. If prayer brings no response, there is something wrong with the prayer, and the fault lies generally in too much effort.
All right. So Ramatu, by the way, Ramatu, said that state of no biggie. That's a good one. We talked about that on the podcast a few days ago. It's also up at feelitrealfun.com. Go listen and watch that. It's really good and simple, right? Surrender. It's so much easier than, push, fight.
Yeah.
You will lose it. Neville says that in Dream Driven Day, we explore speed bumps in the first 10 days of the course, I believe. Maybe it's a little after the first 10 days, I forget. But anyway, I hint about them from day one. We actually dive into them somewhere in the middle, I think. But a speed bump is a speed bump. If you're going to McDonald's, and I have no idea why you'd want to go there, but if you really have your heart set on McDonald's and you hit a speed bump, do you smash the car into the side of the road, get outside, put a rag in the tank and catch it on fire? Or do you keep driving? Right? You're in charge of the brake, you're in charge of the gas. Podcast coming out later today on that. You're also in charge of the steering. If you're out of control, you take your foot off the gas. Slow down, stop. Right? Left, right, go. Right? That easy. And this is the big thing. So Victoria mentioned one of those pesky tools in the toolbox, that pesky Victoria.
I remember when.
I remember when. Now, here's how you don't do it. I remember when bills upset me. I remember when I got the electric bill. That's called nuts, right? But if you bump into that electric bill and you stress out a little bit, okay, I can honestly remember when the electric bill would upset me. And that was in the old country where electric was cheap, right? Here, electric is not cheap. We're like anti-doing anything that makes fucking sense when it comes to cheap electricity, right? It's like, can't use coal, can't use solar, can't use wood, can't use nothing, right?
Nothing.
We're going to make...
Hydro.
We're going to make...
We do use hydro. And we do use actually
but where?
wind. Huh?
Where's the hydro at?
Where they dam it and then let the water go.
All right.
They create power.
Anyway. Okay.
And from the wind. We've got a lot of those
right.
wind saily things.
Yep. Yeah,
yes.
Yeah, we're slowing we're sucking energy out of the sky and slowing down the wind. It's not pretty, guys. So, but we make it really hard to have cheap electrics here. So I just decided to double my income, work half the time, double my income, work half the time. But I can honestly remember getting upset about the electric bill back in the old country. Right here I go, why is it so fucking expensive? Victoria says, because we care. About what?
Yeah, well, that's the company I'm with, Red Energy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
So, and I love Red Energy, by the way. But instead of getting, I remember when I would get upset. That's just a feeling in the past. So if you're looking at something and you're freaked out now, can you experience that as a long time ago, dead and gone? Because, like, seriously, whenever our electric bill doubled because of the portable disposable hot tub, I did go, Jesus Christ, what the fuck is this? I mean, the graph went bip, 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 boom, right?
Yeah, it did.
And then I went, oh, it's just time to make more money.
Yeah.
Right? So that's one way to play with I remember when. Feel that force, feel that upset in the past. Right? Another thing you could do, right? Of course, when the electric bill shows up, just use that as an opportunity to notice what else are you imagining. I mentioned this a little bit earlier. Are you imagining that you can't buy something nice for the wife or the kids or the mistress or the kids that the mistress has or whatever,
The other kid's mom.
Yeah, exactly. The other kid's mom, right? So just notice, where do you think it's because what happens with Neville's work, Neville says to imagine what implies your wish is fulfilled. And to me, that's a real biggie, because if you look at the electric bill and you go, fuck man, how am I going to make more money? Right? Yeah. Now you're getting stuck in the middle. Versus radio, if you can really feel, the electric bill used to be the problem. I'll give you a great example of this. This is a real one. Many of you guys have participated. Yes, we don't know, right? So,
no.
so way back in the old days when I decided radio. So we're building a new system here in Australia, right? I moved here. I decided I don't ever want to work a job again. I don't want to just bounce around the bottom. And I started rebuilding systems. It was like I asked the question, how else can I divorce time from dollars? Because you're going to pay so much for the electric bill based on how much you use and all that crap. So, right, yeah, they got their formulas.
Yeah.
I'm into fucking with formulas. So it's like, radio, how do I divorce time from dollars? Because most people get divorced over money. I'm into divorcing time from money. Just messes everything up in a good way. And so I started having ideas like, let's take a lecture of Neville's.
Let's take a lecture of Neville's.
Yes,
yep.
And transcribe it. Right, so I'd spend like $60 to get it transcribed. Victoria would take 2-3 hours to go through and check the transcription, and then I'd turn it into a book. It would take about 7 hours total, right? And at the end of 7 hours, I'd put together Neville Goddard Simplified Volume 2, Freedom, 3, Power. And these are little $7 ebooks you can still buy from us today. Now, here's the thing. If it takes me 7 hours to do that, and I sell one copy, I made $1 an hour. If I sell 2 copies, I've made $2 an hour. If we sell 1,000 copies, I made $1,000 an hour.
Same amount of time.
Same amount of time. I'm not reinvesting time.
Yeah.
Every time one of y'all buys that book, it adds an hour, $1 onto each hour that I put in, right? I think about money differently. And that's the mindset. I don't have a mindset about bills. I've got a mindset about money. And that mindset comes from this state of having divorce time from money. It comes from really getting what if I had all that I need for my desires? And here's the twist. Ready? All my desires are dependent on a couple things. One is money. Right? I mean, if I want to buy a bottle of whiskey, I can't go in and say, hey, I got this really great joke. Right? Yeah.
It's a great joke.
Yeah. I was watching comedians with cars and having coffee or something, and I heard a joke. Let me tell it to you. All right? They're not going to give me a bottle of whiskey for a joke. Right? They're going to want money. All right? So we give them what they want. They want money. Right? But here's the other side of the coin, time. When I live from the state of having all my desires, that involves time, money, friendship, fellowship. It's really important, because if you're imagining when most people think about money and time so intertwined, that they're really stuck.
Right.
This is why I keep saying divorce time from money. If you doubled your income and worked half the time, how would you buy peanut butter differently? Whoa. Right? The other example that I give a lot is petrol. Right? And in today's world, I just love it, because the price of petrol keeps going up. And I say, look, if you doubled your income and you worked half the time, right, would the price of petrol bother you? Right? The little orange light came on in my car yesterday. Guess what I get to do tomorrow? I get to do a fill up. Right? You see how worked up I am about it? Right? I'm really worked up. Don't care. I'll go to see Neville around the corner. What's Neville's petrol cost, do you know?
No idea.
Why
who knows today? The government said they were giving us 22 cents off a litre for some reason.
Yay. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's see where, whatever.
Yeah.
All right. So I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
So, Ryan, notice how we played around with that. Notice the different things you could imagine. How do you adopt that feeling of financial security? Notice if you're thinking about what the consequences are, if you're trying to imagine up the middles to get there. And just at the very first bit, really find that feeling. Find that feeling and just surrender back to it. But, Victoria, I stole your thunder. It's your turn.
Stole my thunder.
Yes.
So tell us, what was your hashtag strawberry bit? I got a couple of things. So,
listen to you.
No.
She's got a strawberry field.
Well, no, it's not necessarily a strawberry field, but I was thinking, I just suddenly got with that last quote that prayer is to be contrasted with an act of will, and how you've often used that thing where are you saying something as a declaration,
Yes.
or as an assertion, and that first sentence to me is like,
That's it.
that's exactly the same thing. Like the prayer is the declaration,
Yes.
whereas the act of will is like the assertion of So
Here's the assertion. I'm so thankful I get to pay the electric bill. Right?
Yeah.
Really? I'm looking down. You're making a fist. Right? Most people who are thankful aren't making a fist.
yeah, you're saying
Right?
it through clenched teeth.
Yeah. I'm thankful you pulled me over, officer. Right? You may want to open that hand up, son. Right? Things are going to get a little weird in the next 30 seconds if you don't.
And the other one, now I can't remember your words. It was towards the end. You were saying it was about the divorcing time from money.
Yes.
It was in the twist, and it was it was to do with having more time rather than having more money. I think you were saying something about having more time, because when...
Oh, yeah. So that was with, like when Neville said, imagine the feeling of financial security, having all the money you need for your desires.
Yeah.
And I'm also suggesting, noticing that you have all the time as well.
Because for all you DDDers, I really got with that, how that enables all those happy chemicals you were talking about.
Yep.
The relationships you make, like when you go and buy that peanut butter, how, oh, look, it's Sarah in the whatever aisle.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Do you know, it's
Right,
all
right.
of that then comes in, that you're automatically comes into all your sessions as well.
So the Triple D'ers watching, we'll put this up in the Triple D one too.
Yeah.
It's really the richness of experience. That's why we dive into those happy chemicals in the call, in the lessons, because Like for me, it's not, I have $1,000,000 on paper. Like really, right? See, I like knowing, like when I go shopping, I make friends. See, like, and you can ask her, like, by the time we leave the grocery store, I've got more friends.
Yeah,
right?
it was Mark yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday I made friends with Mark, right?
At the auto sports store.
Yeah, it was lovely. I made a new friend, Mark, right? And then, like, if I was trading time for dollars, I mean, first I have to go there during stress time, like at 6:30 in the evening with all the other stressed people, and like Mark would be burned out, and I'd be burned out, and I'd be saying, look, $4 for some fucking screws. Yeah, how do you expect me to pay that when I'm paying my electrics? Right? Like you would have thought I was crazy for another reason. Yeah. But the happy chemicals, honest to God. And it's like the anticipation, like, I mean, like just, what's coming in the mail today? All the electrics. Yay.
It's not coming today. Cool.
All
So
right.
what was your hashtag story bit, babe?
You know, I'm going to run with the surrender part because so many people, well, I got to go with surrender and dwelling place both go hand in hand for me. It's a dwelling place, not a fortress. You do not need to protect your state from reality, right? You walk the dog. I made that little video, 3D reality, and you see someone walking a dog. Watch that video, right? You walk the dog, right? And so when the electric bill shows up and the other bills show up and the mail shows up and all this stuff shows up, I just enjoy it. Because it's like, right, maybe this is what I need. Right, the electric bill doubled. Well, let's find a way to double the income again. That'd be fun. What else could I build? Who else could I bless? Right? So you return to your dwelling place. You don't use it as a defense against 3D reality. And the second part is you do it by surrender. That whole thing of like, right, let me find that feeling. What would I feel if, it really was no big deal. It really was no big deal. Because you've got things that are no big deal. God, so many goody comments. I'm watching your comments.
Yeah, because that was another real goodie right at the beginning from Ramatu, the no biggie. No biggie.
Ramatu.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool.
By the way, if you think about this, right?
Excuse me.
So back when I was a teenager, I got my first car, and then someone ran a shopping cart into it. And at that point, I felt like producing my PR24 polycarbonate side-handle baton and just smashing the shit out of them. But I remember just having the other realization: it's just a car. It's just a little tiny scratch. It's no big deal. And we all have those moments. It's like when you're a teenager, your first car, your first scratch on your first car, it's a big deal.
Yeah, for sure.
And exploring that whole thing of like, you know what? It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Right? I also think like, and part of this really is it's about finding those little stuck teenager bits that we all have. I might do a little live call or two on this, but it's like, you looked at my girlfriend. It's like, I remember as a teenage boy, someone looked at my girlfriend. I mean, I just wanted to like, yeah, I'm thankful he's looking at my girlfriend, right? Yeah. No, I wasn't, right? Yeah, I could say it all I wanted to. But it's like now, I mean, like if we're out and I see someone looking at her, right? That's a compliment. I happen to put myself with a pretty woman, right? John Mance is here, right? Speaking of pretty women, John Mance is here. No, but it's fun, like honest to God, like it's like, you know what? If someone checks her out, that's a compliment to me, right? If I notice someone's being friendly, that's a compliment to me. Right? Yeah, and that's where you really get to play. So I think that's it for me.
Okay.
I put like 4 strawberry bits in.
You did.
Look at this. I even brought this, and I didn't click it once today.
No, you just clicked it for Timmy to get out of the loo because we're starting the show.
Yeah. Timmy said, I really got to poo. It's like 4 minutes to the show.
Yeah.
All right.
So, while you finish typing in your strawberry bits, go to easymanifestingmethods.com.
Yep, we'll send you an email, all that stuff. Drag it into the inbox if it goes anyplace else. Click the confirmation link because if you don't, we can't.
Yeah. Join our 90-day adventure at manifestingmasterycourse.com.
That's right. I am trying to summon Scott Olivet. Right? manifestingmasterycourse.com. Yes. By the way, the Prosperity Pack, Neville Goddard Prosperity Pack.com. Look at that. If you go there, you can Yeah, you'll have the rights to do that.
And for refunds, visit our YouTube channel feelitrealfun.com.
That is the rightness. Everyone said it shall prevail, but I said, oh no, Victoria. The rightness has prevailed. We haven't sung that in a long time. Maybe we'll do it tomorrow.
The rightness has prevailed.
Yep, we have a special show tomorrow. Make sure you tune in exactly 24 hours.
We don't have a show
Actually,
tomorrow.
23 hours and 30 minutes. Yes, we do tomorrow.
Tomorrow's Thursday.
Yeah, things have changed. They've changed the plans.
The plans,
have changed. It's round as a donut. If rich people want to live in a house with no right angles, you let them live in a house with no right angles, right?
Okay.
That could be your desire.